Have you ever wondered about yourself? Each of us was once a child, curious and eager to explore the world. But why is it that as we grow up, we gradually lose the enthusiasm for discovering and learning the things that once fascinated us? When we become adults, there seems to be an invisible force driving us forward relentlessly. But is that force truly internal? If you still haven't identified your real motivation, if you find yourself constantly plagued by anxiety, pressure, and beginning to doubt the meaning of the work you're doing, if you still have doubts and struggle between the expectations of parents, partners, society on one hand, and the life you truly love on the other, if you still have questions like these, then Edward L. Deci, one of the 200 outstanding psychologists, the founder of the self-determination theory based on over 45,000 scientific studies, will help you find answers through this book, Why We Do What We Do. From there, discover your true inner motivation. In addition, the co-author of this book, Richard Flaster, a former science and health editor for the New York Times, will also share the content with you today. Is it motivation or a tangible reward? Perhaps many of you have watched circus animal shows on television. To make the animals listen and obey commands, trainers give them their favorite food. After a while, conditioned reflexes develop, making the animals believe that simply repeating a requested action from the trainer will earn them delicious treats. For them, those treats are the motivating rewards. In reality, this kind of motivation exists everywhere in our lives. Have you ever thought about why you have to work, even overtime, risking your physical and mental health? Some may answer that it's because only by doing so can you receive the promised regular salary from the company and leadership. This year, the company will give a higher year-end bonus. Or maybe if you manage to get into ABC school, your dad will buy you the latest model car. Similar statements like these, you might have heard many. It's a form of encouragement through rewards. So, if there were no rewards, would you willingly work hard? If there were no financial incentives, would you be willing to work overtime? If you received nothing in return, would you put your head down, work day and night to excel in school or not? Indeed, encouragement can provide you with additional strength. Many people, including psychologists, agree that positive encouragement in life helps motivate people to keep going. However, it's clear that this encouragement can make you feel tired and fed up with the current situation at a certain point. After years of research, the author realized that the reason lies in the fact that rewards can weaken your inner motivation. In an experiment from 1960, the author recruited students to participate. They were divided into two groups to play with puzzles. Famous magazines of that time were placed near the puzzle pieces in the lab. In the two groups, one group would be rewarded with $1 after completing the puzzle. This was a considerable amount of money for the students back then. The other group, however, was not promised any reward, only invited to participate for fun. This experiment lasted for 8 minutes, and at the end, the author discovered that those who were rewarded with $1 after finishing the puzzle all started reading the magazines. Most of them felt that playing the puzzle was not interesting and not worth continuing. For them, playing the puzzle was like doing a part-time job for money, just doing it to get paid. The other group, on the other hand, was completely different. Although they completed the puzzle blocks quickly as required, they found it quite interesting throughout the process. So, they continued to play for the full 8 minutes. From this experiment, the author concluded that for those who agreed to play with the condition of a reward, playing puzzles was essentially just a part-time task to earn money. For those without a dollar reward, they could play with genuine interest throughout the process because they had chosen to participate even when there was no reward. Therefore, rewards have the potential to damage a person's inner motivation. If you work only for rewards, you will gradually lose interest in what you are doing. The reason that reward encouragement can weaken a person's inner motivation is that it can occur in a subtle, hidden form of control. This is something that this book wants to warn you about. So, what is a real reward? A reward should be a heartfelt joy when you give a gift to someone because you see the positive and growth in them. If you see rewards as an exchange, something you get only when you complete a task, otherwise, you don't bother, that's not a reward, it's control. There's an example that happens quite often in society. A 6-year-old child is sent to piano lessons by their parents. The girl doesn't enjoy playing this musical instrument, so she can't concentrate for long. Then they find an experienced teacher who uses rewards as a teaching method. Every time she completes a practice session, she receives a secret treasure. These treasures are actually toys that the child loves. So, the girl becomes diligent in going to lessons, but each time she quickly wants to finish the practice to get the treasure. One day, her father notices that the girl is sitting diligently but isn't producing any melodies. The father says, "Stop, you don't have to continue. Today, Dad will give you the treasure." The father completely broke the teacher's rule. If you were a parent, would you recognize this? Or would you think it's just because the child doesn't have talent and should continue to make an effort? Through the story above, you will see how the teacher used rewards to create a system that easily controls the children. In the face of any material incentive, a child completely loses the ability to be independent. In fact, from kindergarten to higher levels of education, teachers and parents often impose similar rules to control their students and children. Those who are obedient, tidy, and follow the rules will be rewarded. Those who violate them will be punished. At this point, many parents and teachers will say that without such rules, there would be no organization, no discipline. In reality, the author experimented with classroom models where rewards and punishments were not used as a control system. Students had their way of communicating with teachers changed, they were guided on why they should do something, and they were allowed to act independently. At this point, the classroom was not chaotic, and the students' intrinsic motivation increased significantly. If you are someone who doesn't know how to encourage others, how to help them find intrinsic motivation, then you tend to control, manipulate, and resort to tactics like using rewards as an exchange. In family education, schools, businesses, and even in society at large, there always exists such a system of hidden rewards. It creates binding regulations, informal but imposed on people. When there are invisible motivators pushing from behind, at a certain point, you will automatically know what to do. For example, when you graduate from university, you should find a job. When you reach a certain age, you should get married and start a family. However, let me ask you this. Do you feel genuine happiness when your parents and leaders encourage you to move forward in this way? Being bound by rules and control, are you willing to do what others want you to do step by step? The author believes that whether it's rewards or control, the motivation you get from them is fragile and cannot become intrinsic motivation within you. You will notice that when you do something solely for material rewards, over time your sense of autonomy weakens. When a person's autonomy is weakened, their intrinsic motivation decreases, and naturally, they will not experience joy or happiness during the process. Besides hidden control, there are also threats that can produce similar results. For example, parents often tell their children that if they don't do their homework diligently, they won't be allowed to watch TV. Leaders tell employees that if they don't complete the project this time, there will be no bonus this year. From their perspective, this is a strategy to create motivation, but the results often backfire. Moreover, monitoring, competition, evaluation, and similar behaviors also lead to a lack of intrinsic motivation in people. When you understand this, you will understand why you are gradually losing motivation for work, learning, or other activities in life. So how do you get intrinsic motivation? In other words, How can you find an ideal job that harnesses your intrinsic motivation? All of these questions will be revealed and discussed in the next video: how to get intrinsic motivation, autonomy, or state of flow. Thank you for watching. If you found this video helpful, please share it with those who need it. Give me a thumbs up, click the subscribe button, and turn on the notification bell to watch my latest videos every week. Once again, thank you, and see you in the next videos.